if Bill Gates, a very formidable, towering personality of the IT world, is literally under the scrutiny and maligned, I think rightly so, for his very discredited and dubious role in the Jeffrey Epstein vulgar sex scandal, then how can India pretend to be above it all? It says Modi on board, Modi's guy. Modi sang and danced in Israel to please Donald Trump. These are significant statements. Remember, around the same time, India's foreign policy on Israel changed dramatically. Now you have Mr. Modi apparently visiting Israel in a week's time. The same Israel whose Mossad is supposed to be the mastermind behind the Epstein files. The real story, in my opinion, is Anil Ambani. And Anil Ambani not being investigated till now by an impartial team of interrogators is a joke on all of us who are watching this program that we are a hardcore banana republic. I'm going to repeat it again. We are an officially a banana republic the way we are running this country. It just goes to tell you that in India, laws have been subverted. There is absolutely no respect for any, shall we say, principle of governance. There is zero transparency. Everything is about a photo op for Narendra Modi, which is why on day one the AI summit became the most embarrassing fiasco for India. There was no Wi-Fi. People had no food and water. They could not carry their keys inside. I mean, why was Mr. Modi in the AI conference and what has he got to do with AI? I mean, I really don't see him as a tech guy. I mean, he goes to America, he says AI is American-Indian partnership. You see, for him, everything is an acronym, right? This government has been an embarrassment. It's been an embarrassment because it has abused Indianness to simply make it appear as if India belongs to just one particular community. I mean, just think about it, right? What is sovereignty? Sovereignty is when you stand up for yourself. Here you have the Modi government that allows Donald Trump to announce the ceasefire. This guy Rijiju talk in such a, he was, I think, so provocative and made a statement where he said Rahul Gandhi is India's national security threat. I actually have tweeted about it today saying, why is the Congress party taking that absolute rubbish, a very dangerous, diabolical statement in its stride? I mean, this is the kind of language that, frankly, is a call for violence. This can trigger various kinds of people, including this guy you're talking about, who says, I will go and shoot Rahul Gandhi.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. AI Summit in New Delhi grabbed headlines for all the wrong reasons, from mismanagement to theft to Golgotia University fiasco to even Epstein files, due to which Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates did not deliver the keynote address. On day 4, Prime Minister Modi addressed global leaders at India AI Impact Summit 2026 and called to democratize artificial intelligence, making it a tool for inclusion and empowerment, saying, and I'm going to quote him, artificial intelligence marks a transformative chapter in human history. India is not just part of the AI revolution, but is leading and shaping it. He also spoke about accountability and AI governance. But what about the governance back home? What about the accountability back home? Who will be held accountable for the Epstein files? Coming as it does, the latest news we are getting is that Prince Andrews also has got arrested. So are we going to see heads rolling as far as the names which have figured so far in Epstein files? And what does it go to show? Because Bill Gates was in India, he met Chandrababu Naidu, he's having group meetings, but Prime Minister Modi shied away from sharing the stage with Bill Gates for today. Joining me this evening on this entire gamut of topics is former spokesperson of the Congress, author and columnist Sanjay Jha. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining. And the latest news coming in, of course, is the arrest of Prince Andrews, but we'll talk about it later. But I want to begin with the fact that Bill Gates, who was supposed to deliver a keynote address at the AI summit, didn't deliver the address. In fact, Gates Foundation came up with a reason that after due consideration, we thought so. And what I'm seeing on the international media, whether it is BBC or Sunday Guardian or Al Jazeera, all have said that he pulled out because of Epstein files. If that is such a sensitive issue, what is happening in our country?
Oh, well, I think you have raised a very pertinent point, Nilu. Bill Gates not attending the much hyped AI summit, which has been hijacked by a Chinese robot dog, call it a robo dog, I think is basically a message that India should be taking the Epstein files very seriously. If Bill Gates, a very formidable, towering personality of the IT world, is literally under the scrutiny and maligned, I think rightly so, for his very discredited and dubious role in the Jeffrey Epstein vulgar sex scandal, then how can India pretend to be above it all? Because we seem to have some very serious issues with Epstein files on our own, right? There are very powerful celebrity politicians involved. There is one of the richest, by the way, businessman's now bankrupt. His brother still continues to be the most, uh, shall we say, the richest man in the billionaire list, Mr. Mukesh Ambani. Anil Ambani's name is very prominently in the Epstein files. Anil Ambani got the Rafael deal. Anil Ambani was openly talking to Jeffrey Epstein about all kinds of uh, appointments to be leveraged for the Delhi leadership, right? It's pretty out there in the open in the Epstein file. How come we are pretending as if the Epstein files don't exist? I can tell you that I'm taken aback, Nilu, because it also mentions Mr. Modi. It says Modi on board, Modi's guy. Modi sang and danced in Israel to please Donald Trump. These are significant statements. Remember, around the same time, India's foreign policy on Israel changed dramatically. Now you have Mr. Modi apparently visiting Israel in a week's time. The same Israel whose Mossad is supposed to be the mastermind behind the Epstein files. It's extremely intriguing and, shall we say, mind boggling. Not to forget that Benjamin Netanyahu has an arrest warrant against him for genocide by both the International Criminal Court as well as the International Court of Justice, and for ethnic cleansing. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, I am absolutely stunned at the hypocrisy that we are witnessing in India on the Epstein file.
You use the word hypocrisy, and I want to come to Bill Gates now. Bill Gates is easily given a visa to come to India. Bill Gates meets Chandrababu Naidu. He has group meetings. He has parallel meetings going on while this AI summit is on. But on the day when Prime Minister is sharing stage with people like Sundar Pichai and several other corporate honchos, Bill Gates doesn't appear there. What do you think? I mean, can there be a bigger hypocrisy than this? And then to top it all, they say that our shared goals with Gates Foundation continues as it was. What does it go to show? I mean, just for the optics part of it, they try to distance with Bill Gates so that, the pictures don't go on the social media and memes will be made out of it that, oh, look, Prime Minister standing with Bill Gates. Was that the reason?
Well, the prime minister who was named on the Epstein files as well, by the way. So, I think obviously is pure and simple PR, publicity, propaganda management by the Modi government, right? Let's face it, there has been a lot of heat on his own cabinet minister. Is out there in the open, Mr. Puri. There has been the real story, in my opinion, is Anil Ambani. and Anil Ambani not being investigated till now by an impartial team of interrogators is a joke on all of us who are watching this program, that we are a hardcore banana republic. I'm going to repeat it again. We are an officially a banana republic the way we are running this country. Gautam Adani, can you imagine? Gautam Adani, we did not serve him summons from the US SEC because of technical reasons for 16 months. Can you believe that? I mean, it's out in the open, the flagrant, not just hypocrisy, the mendacity, the immorality, the unethical, unprincipled behavior of the Modi government is like encyclopedic. I mean, there'll be books and TV series on this government which will run for years. All I can see here is a very blatant attempt at criminality. That an Indian businessman accused of corruption, we are not investigating the guy. Can you imagine the Americans accused, and they have evidence, right? They have accused Mr. Adani of 265 million bribery, and we don't think it needs to be investigated. I mean, which world are we living in? The same comes to the Epstein file. Can you imagine, Nilu? I mean, that this is democracy for you, right? No matter how much we criticize the West. Prince Andrew, now, of course, his title has been taken away from him because of the Epstein file. He's been arrested by the UK police while his brother is the king of the country, the ceremonial head of the Commonwealth in entirety. It just goes to tell you that in India, laws have been subverted. There is absolutely no respect for any, shall we say, principle of governance. There is zero transparency. Everything is about a photo op for Narendra Modi, which is why on day one the AI summit became the most embarrassing fiasco for India. People, there was no Wi-Fi. People had no food and water. They could not carry their keys inside. It was absolute chaos. I think everybody knows about that. And what is absolutely shocking to me is how everybody seems to be so happily reconciled to it. For me, the most shameful players is India's television channels. The way they kind of literally go prostrate on the ground, crawl. Uh, I mean, they are like pathetic.
Sanjay, the biggest thing is that do you think that Hardeep Puri is going to lose his job, given the fact that Prime Minister Modi just a few days back congratulated him, wished him birthday, and we don't see any signs of the government getting proactive as far as Epstein files is concerned. Do you think that they will continue to brazen out like this, the way they've been doing it?
Well, think about it, right? I mean, this government has brazened out everything from day one. I mean, they were very clear. I still remember Rajnath Singh's statement in the early days of the NDA government. We are not the Congress. Nobody will resign here. It's very crystal clear. So I think there's a lesson here for all opposition parties. The BJP believes that if it says we made a mistake, okay, supposing if someone were to resign, that's an admission of guilt, or if nothing else, we were compromised at least until it's investigated. They don't want even a shadow of a needle of suspicion on them because they believe that they are above it all. It's all about, remember, for Narendra Modi, whom LK Advani famously called as a event manager, everything is about optics. I mean, why was Mr. Modi in the AI conference? And what has he got to do with AI? I mean, I really don't see him as a tech guy. I mean, he goes to America, he says AI is American Indian partnership. You see, for him, everything is an acronym, right? Some
No, no,
manav.
today also. In fact, I was
Yeah,
coming to.
manav. It's an acronym. See, the
Yeah.
man is made to just create a headline. And how does he create the headline? You see, in a normal democracy, you think a CNN or a CBS or a BBC would carry such headlines if it was said by Trump or Mr. Starmer? No. But in India, the mainstream channels literally dance to the tune of this government. So
Yeah.
Modi says Manav. I've already got calls from two channels to say, please come and discuss Manav. And I said, hang on. That's
No, no.
not what
In
I'm going
fact,
to discuss.
In fact, I was about to ask you this question, and you mentioned it on your own, but I'm just putting it for the perspective of the viewers, and then I'll take your response, Sanjay.
Mhm.
Modi now today presented the Manav vision to AI. Now, Manav, let me just explain it to the viewers. According to Prime Minister Modi, M in Manav stands for moral and ethical systems. A in Manav stands for accountable governance. N for national security, A for accessible and inclusive, and V for valid and legitimate. Now, I want to go on all these abbreviations one by one. Now, M stands for moral and ethical systems. Sanjay, your response to it, I don't know what it means really, but I want you to dissect this Manav approach of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Yeah.
Well, let's look at the word morality, moral, right? Manipur burned for over a year and a half. Mr. Modi never went there. That's morality for you. Bilkis Banu, gang raped, gets released on India's 75th Independence Day. That's morality for you. Electoral bonds, that's morality for you. So let me tell you upfront, it's a fraud on not just the people of India, but globally to even use the word morality with the Modi government. What's the second one?
A is for accountable governance. Now, God knows what accountable governance he was talking in reference to AI. But
Yeah.
if Prime Minister Modi talks about accountable governance, what would one say?
Well, let me tell you the simple answer to that. Accountable Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of this great country, 12 years. This astute gentleman has not even held a single press conference. That's called accountability. That's called accountability. And governance, you're diluting the RTI. You are destroying cooperative federalism. I mean, in daylight, all the laws and institutions have been captured, whether it's Election Commission or the ED. And I dare say the judiciary today has a lot of questions to answer, Nilu. I heard them on the Assam case where they said, we don't find enough reason at the moment. Please take all the cases to the state high court. I mean, that to me was a sledgehammer blow to free speech.
Yeah.
What's the third one?
So we finished. M stands for moral. You've dissected that. A stands for accountable governance. N for national sovereignty. Now this really sounds like a joke.
Well, I can tell you something for a fact. I mean, this government has been an embarrassment. It's been an embarrassment because it has abused Indianness to simply make it appear as if India belongs to just one particular community. I mean, just think about it, right? What is sovereignty? The sovereignty is when you stand up for yourself. Here you have the Modi government that allows Donald Trump to announce the ceasefire, where Donald Trump announces the trade deal, where India agrees to not buy Russian oil but buy more expensive American and Venezuelan oil, where India agrees to have no tariffs in America but take 18%. Is that national sovereignty? Not at all. Worse, a sovereign nation carries everybody along. And end of day, this government is all about hype. Can you imagine after Pahalgam massacre, we played cricket with Pakistan,
Yeah.
and just to create this fake imagery that we are very patriotic and nationalistic, even if we played with Pakistan, the captain of the Indian cricket team, making an absolute fool of himself, pretended to carry a trophy. I was telling this to some people who were visiting me from abroad recently, and they were like, Sanjay Jha, you got to be joking. This can't be real. I said, you don't believe me? Just watch the YouTube. They saw Surya Kumar Yadav doing that absolutely phony act of carrying a trophy and pretending to lift it. And they were like, we can't believe this is India. We can't believe that this is some kind of a parallel universe India has become, some kind of a TV soap opera. But this is what the Modi government has done over the last 12 years. Let's take the fourth one.
Yeah. And fourth one is the second letter A, which stands for accessible and inclusive. Yes, Sanjay.
Inclusive, let's not even talk about it. I mean, come on. You have an event which is held in Delhi recently, funded by the government, 61 lakhs, is backed by the government, where the people get together and say, get away with the Muslims from this country. They talk of ethnic cleansing, attacks on Muslims openly. You have a chief minister of a state telling people don't pay the Muslims so much, pay them less. You remember that famous video that they have now deleted in Assam?
Yes, yes.
Shooting at Muslims, inclusive, lynching, murders, daylight abuse of Muslims happening all over the country, day
No, but
in and night
today
out.
also Sunday there was a video by an Andhbhakt. He says he's a Modi supporter, he's a BJP supporter, and he's threatened that I will shoot Rahul Gandhi because of the manner in which 25 MPs they opposed Om Birla. Now, look, did you
Yeah.
see that video?
Well,
I
let
mean,
me tell you, I heard the other day this guy Rijiju
yeah.
talk in such a, he was, I think, so provocative, and made a statement where he said Rahul Gandhi is India's national security threat. I actually have tweeted about it today saying, why is the Congress party taking that absolute rubbish, a very dangerous, diabolical statement in its stride? I mean, this is the kind of language that, frankly, is a call for violence. This can trigger various kinds of people, including this guy you're talking about, who says, I will go and shoot Rahul Gandhi. Remember, there was another guy who said it in Kerala, right? These are dangerous patterns emerging in this country because Rahul Gandhi, whether you like him or not, Rahul Gandhi has spoken everything that he's spoken has been the truth. And
And Modi
Narendra
just
Modi and his
out
government are
and
scared of him because of Adani, because of Trump, because of corruption, because of Ambani, because of all the electoral bonds, the hate campaigns, everything. This government is compromised. Everybody knows that. And those who pretend not to know, well, they are culpable as well. Let me tell you, on your program, anybody who watches your program, this program that you and I are on today, Nilu, who pretend that Modi is a great guy and the BJP is good, they are culpable for allowing the great idea of India, their great constitutional democracy that we once were, and we are seeing it die in front of our very eyes. Rahul Gandhi, therefore, is a big threat to them. Therefore, my simple answer, they're inclusive. These guys have attacked even Santa Claus during Christmas. So they have gone after Dalits, they have gone after Muslims, they've gone after Christians. They will go after anybody who's a dissenter, even if that person is a Hindu tomorrow. So this will go beyond religion, right? This is an all-encompassing target to make sure that we are not just going to be authoritarian, we are going to be fascist.
And the last letter of the acronym MANAV is we, that is valid and legitimate. Now, how do you dissect that letter? When Prime Minister Modi talks about validity and he talks about legitimacy.
Well, let me tell you, on legitimacy, the simple thing that comes to my mind is the way the election commission has performed. Everybody who's followed Indian democracy knows that India's elections are highly suspect. Rahul Gandhi has put evidence in the public domain. Everybody knows that there are serious compromises in the way SIR has been deleted. Many names have been removed. And I think today, if the entire electoral system is flawed, it is illegitimate, and therefore that's a matter of great concern. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering that Modi has laid out this Manav approach to artificial intelligence, which of course all the mainstream media channels have lapped it up and they are making it as big headlines. It's trending on the social media. But do you think that the leaders coming from 100 countries would have taken Modi seriously in this AI summit when he spoke about this human-centric approach to AI?
Well,
Though
let me
his
tell you,
content was different, yeah.
Niru, let me tell you, these summits don't create an AI environment. This is not like the Vibrant Gujarat. You remember Vibrant Gujarat, everybody announcing lakhs of crores of deals, nothing really happened, right? So this is something very similar. I remember in the early part when Mr. Modi became prime minister, there was similar, these Ambani has promised lakhs of crores. What happened? What happened? This government gave the Indian corporate sector, which is why the corporates love Mr. Modi, right? India was bleeding. This was pre-pandemic, by the way. Pre-pandemic, they announced a 1,50,000 crore bonanza to the corporate sector, right? Did they invest in India? 10 lakh crores we have foregone over the last 6 years of revenue. 10 lakh crores subsidy given to the rich of this country. Rich as in the owners, huh? I'm talking about the owners of these big businesses. Their tax came down dramatically. What did they do? They use that for shareholder, you know, increasing their market prices, showing them as reserves. Nobody invested, nobody gave jobs. So I can tell you this for a fact that this government has catered to the rich. This government has openly created India into a crony capitalist kleptocracy, call it a plutocracy if you like. India is in the hands of a few rich people. Why do you think they love him? Why do you think Vedanta loves him? Anand Mahindra loves him. Tatas love him. Ambani brothers love him. Adani loves him. Mittal loves him. They are all at it because they have got a gain by this government. Why do you think the rich of this country love Modi? Because their stock prices have gone up because these companies have saved on tax and they're giving it away in terms of maybe dividends or bonus shares or dividend shares. And everybody is like, okay, we are happy. We are making money. The rest of the country can go to the dogs.
Do you think that there can be a mounting pressure globally, and that global pressure could affect Prime Minister Modi on taking some action against people whose names have appeared in Epstein files, whether it is Anil Ambani or whether it is Hardeep Puri? Because there are countries where inquiries are on, where arrests have happened. Look at the former Prime Minister of Norway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Criminally charged. Today, we see Prince Andrews being arrested. Do you think that this global pressure can mount on Modi, or Modi is going to remain unaffected as always?
I don't think he'll be unaffected. And he probably will not be affected as long as he's in power, right? Because he has made sure that all institutions are entirely in his control. Rahul Gandhi in the opposition, and Rahul Gandhi in particular has brought up Epstein. All of us have. The Congress has, right? The opposition hasn't done it as much. I haven't seen other members of the India Alliance really talk of Epstein as much as they should have, in my opinion. Anyway, I mean, I'm sure at some point they will. The larger point is in India, there is fear. All institutions are rigged. Media is under their control. There will be no investigation. Listen, if they did not allow Adani to get summons for 16 months, you really think they're going to scrutinize themselves, Nilu? Let's not live in a fool's paradise. No way. But here is the other thing that we cannot ignore. This government will go. I don't know when. They will go. And whoever comes into power will have the obligation, not vendetta, the obligation to investigate everything since 2014. Because in my awareness of politics, there is a lot of criminality and corruption that hasn't been talked about, whether it's Demon, electoral bonds, Rafael. Remember, I keep bringing up Rafael again and again and again. You know, the people of this country ridiculed Rahul Gandhi for saying Chaukidar Chor hai. But now it all begins to add up, right? Anil Ambani fronts his government, talks to Jeffrey Epstein. Don't forget, there is even a talk of a Swedish blonde. You remember? How come this government is so cool about that? How come? I mean, I'm telling you, it just
Where are the
begins to show.
sanskars? Now nobody talks about the sanskars. The sanskari party
संस्कार
doesn't talk
वो
about.
सब संस्कार भूल गए भैया, संस्कृति भूल गए हैं ये लोग। ये तो बड़े राष्ट्रवादी है, बड़े धर्म में एकदम डूबे हुए हैं। Now let me tell you the truth, right? There is this whole Israel connection. Now here are the points that nobody is in India is talking about because 99% of the people are so scared, right? Jeffrey Epstein was Jew. What did he do? He basically was blackmailing people. Everybody knows that. The big conspiracy that a lot of American, in fact, Republican journalists have talked about, including Tucker Carlson, he's talked about that was Mossad and the Israeli government holding American politicians under ransom, not Russia. It was actually Israel. So far, everybody's assumed is Russia holding some kind of a sleazy video or documents on Trump, etc. But no, it appears it's Mossad. Now, interestingly, Mr. Ambani, in all his Jeffrey Epstein emails, talks about getting a dialogue with Jared Kushner, who happens to be a Jew, right? Steve Bannon, a very powerful guy, a conspiracy theorist of the right wing, very close to Donald Trump, and meetings with not happening in Washington, so please help. What does it add up to? Modi lands up in Israel after America, and India's foreign policy in Israel changes dramatically. Around the same time, there is Jeffrey Epstein telling somebody he danced and sang in Israel to make Donald Trump happy. Guess what happens? Anil Ambani gets a Rafael deal around the same time. It's a no brainer. But if you think any TV channel in this country is going to talk about it, obviously no. And that's why the people of this country remain in the dark. Or many of them have just chosen to be spineless and say, why bother? Let Neeru Vyas fight it out. Let Rahul Gandhi fight it out. Let a few brave journalists fight it out. Let Sanjay Jha go on these programs and talk. Things change. We will say, hey, you guys were great. Tomorrow, if this government topples, people will come and tell you, me, Rahul Gandhi, the Congress, and Rajdeep Sardesai, hey, you guys were outstanding the way you would stuff, took on this government. Right now, we are happy to be cowards. We'll be chicken. We will not say anything. Let the others, kind of bell the cat. That's a tragedy. When a country loses its morality, it starts from the top. As we already talked, there's no morality to the top, but it percolates downwards. It's very imperceptible, but over a period of time, it just goes down and it sinks into the entire system. I have always believed, Nilu, that a country finally becomes like its leader.
Right. One quick question before I wind up the interview, Sanjay, that can Epstein files, now we talk about various issues, whether it was the Hindenburg report of Adani, which again nailed Prime Minister Modi, all the institutions, whether it was a Rafael deal. So many issues came up, but Modi came out of all of them because media supported Modi all the time. But in Epstein files, since there's so much of global pressure, do you think Epstein files can really become Modi's undoing?
Well, I can tell you that until Modi is in power, he will not allow any investigation to happen. Because whether it is, if there was an investigation on demonetization, okay, or Rafale, or electoral bonds, where the Supreme Court said is unconstitutional, not forget the legal part or the constitutional interpretation. We saw cases of extortion, mafia, literally extortion happening, or quid pro quo deals happening. I mean, bribery in broad daylight. And now Epstein. Nothing's happened to Modi because the people of this country, the corporates who own media, the rich and affluent who are happy with their tax cuts and their Zomato, uh, what I call as the avocado on toast elite of India, they don't care. They are indifferent. They're very happy, driving their SUVs, and I keep saying that all the time, having their, fancy meals and foreign holidays. They don't care. They don't care, right? So the bottom line is the big stakeholders who have to fight are doing nothing. And those who are poor and who are at the periphery, Modi is keeping them happy with a little bit of Hindutva cocktail. He'll give some freebies, 5 kilo food grains, some Mahila scheme before an election. It's a very standard BJP playbook. And if nothing works, you can always blame the कौन आपका भैंस चोरी कर लेगा, कौन आपका मंगलसूत्र उठा लेगा. There is always Rahul Gandhi and Pandit Nehru to beat up, right? And then, of course, you can always create a tension or assume that the neighbors are going to be attacking you, so you are very hyper vigilant. I will play cricket, but I will not shake hands. So, to be honest, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I honestly ask myself, Niru, I don't know what you think, that are we living actually in, that
Yeah.
there was a famous movie called Truman Show. It was a reality, life became a reality TV. I feel we are living in a reality TV show.
Right. My last question, and I was just looking at the Twitter. Now, here is Hardeep Puri retweeting Prime Minister Modi's tweet, which this is about 4 hours ago, where Narendra Modi on his Twitter line has said, AI Impact Summit in Delhi has brought together the who's who from the AI world. There is representation from over 100 countries. There are distinguished participants from every corner of the globe. Our aim is the same, leveraging the power of AI for the welfare of our planet. And it is retweeted by Hardeep Puri about 4 hours ago. Sanjay, your parting comments now before we close the program on this.
Well,
Hardeep Puri
well,
retweeted.
let me tell you, Nilu. I mean,
No, I
in
didn't see him.
conclusion,
Though I didn't see him at the AI summit, but he's
yeah.
retweeted Prime Minister's tweet. Yeah.
Well, it's very simple, right? I remember that if there is any government in the world, in at least any democracy, that has spread the maximum misinformation and disinformation. In fact, I think it was a Davos report that called India the misinformation and disinformation capital of the world, right? So AI is very good for governments in power because they can further spread more fake news, create hype, spread fake news, morph videos. And that, I think, is going to be one of the strategies of this government. I mean, the BJP IT cell is notorious for the way they have destroyed Rahul Gandhi over these years, the way they have abused the Congress, the way they have gone after individuals, right, including journalists and writers and actors and so on. So I think for them, AI is a very strong, powerful tool whereby they can just create a script, fake anything they like, create a fake video, destroy anybody they want, and they have the power to do that.
If Congress puts out AI videos, whether it is on General Naravne or whether it is on any issue which has been picked up by the opposition, that video gets deleted at the behest of the police. That's what Supriya Shulate held a press conference and said.
Exactly. And let me tell you, they're coming up with a new rule, right? 3 hours, right? 3 hours
Yes,
apparently. You have to remove anything that they find objectionable. So you are, I keep saying that actually, we were never a democracy after 2014. Now we have, then gradually we became more totalitarian. Now we are hard fascist. And what does a fascist really want? I mean, I define fascism not as authoritarianism, which is like I'm against dissent. Here you want to obliterate all opposition. You want to control everything to such an extent that there is no one left to oppose you. And if anybody dares to do that, they're literally kind of decimated within seconds. So you have now reached a point of, I would say, nothing very different from what some countries were pre World War II. The only difference is that we go through this synthetic exercise of an election. And because there is an election, people believe, I'm still voting, there is democracy. But who's running the election? It is the election
absolutely.
commission. Who has all
Right.
the money? One party. Tata's donation, 83% went to one political party. And Tata's gets all the contracts. So we are rigged on an overall basis. They have a long and hard fight ahead. We'll have to believe in the decency and faith of the common man. And you and I, Neelu, will have to keep doing these shows to keep the fight up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you were talking about fascism. So fascism thrives only on propaganda. And so here, Prime Minister Modi is talking about making India as an AI giant, as an AI superpower. I think on an ending note, I would want to say through this platform that we are not becoming an AI superpower, but we are becoming a propaganda superpower in the real terms. Thank you so much, Sanjay. Always a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you.
Thank you.